Hey there, hi. We're going to talk today about how to take your horse's temperature. A couple things when you have to call the vet and there's something wrong with your horse, you're not quite sure what it is, there's a couple things they're going to ask you to do. They're going to ask you, is that horse running a temp? So you're going to need to know how to take it. One of the things that a good horse person is going to have in the tack box is going to be a thermometer, maybe one or two. Sometimes it's also a good idea to have that also available in just the tack room if you have a medicine cabinet or something like that where you have first aid, whether it's for the horses or for people. It's a good idea to have a thermometer in there. Now, I've got two different thermometers. I've got a digital thermometer and I also have a regular thermometer. And the digital thermometer is very easy. And it just came from regular drugstore. And it's digital, it'll beep for you when it has taken the temp. The only problem with this thermometer, as you see, is that the back of it, you really need to hold on to it. And I'm going to explain why in just a second. Now, this other thermometer that I have is just our regular mercury thermometer. But now you notice that it's got a little loop on the end of it. And I'm going to tell you why it's important to have this little loop right here on the end of it. Because the horse, when you put this in there, when you insert it in their rectum, it has a contracting muscle. And it is very possible for them to suck this in as you're getting ready to take their temp. So it's important that you hold on. Hi, honey. It's important that you hold on to the end of it. But if you've got a horse that's not feeling well and he's moving around, it's going to be a good idea that you have this in case that muscle contracts and he sucks this into his rectum, in which case you can actually still hold on to this part. Trust me, it is not a fun thing to have to go into that horse's rear end to dig out to get that thermometer out. Now, in some events, I have friends that do actually hold a clip, like a hair clip, right on the end of here. And what they do is they clip that part to the end of the horse's tail and then they insert it just to give a little extra protection so that if this goes in, you're able to get it back out. It would be a very bad thing to have this stuck in there. Now, to prep this, just the same way you would prep this if you were taking your own temp or if you're taking your child's temp, you want to make sure this is clean. Alcohol prep pads. So I take an alcohol prep pad, make sure I've gone over it really well before I use it. And after I've used it, I also put a little soap and water to the end of it and then put a little alcohol prep pad on it before I put it away so that I know it's also clean when I've placed it away. Okay? Now I do want to use a little bit of a lubrication on the end of this before inserting this. Little good old petroleum jelly, little old Vaseline on the end of it. We'll do it well. Okay, so I'm going to put just a little bit, rub that on the end of that there. Yes, I know, this is not going in your mouth. Okay, now I want to make sure that I've shaken this down so that it's at the lowest point. Remember that the normal range for an adult horse's temperature is going to run between 99 and about 101.5. If it's over 101.5, then it is considered to be a fever. Okay, even if it's a low-grade fever, 102 is where they justify it being a fever. Okay, so now we're going to go to the back end and I'm going to show you how to stay safely inserting this so that you can have it in there for at least a minute and it'll give you a very good reading. So we're going to move around to the back end of our horse here. And I want to make sure I'm standing to the side of him at an angle, okay? I am going to want to move his tail over so that I can see. And now if you're doing this in his stall, he might be moving around. I'm going to insert this right there and I'm going to hold on to it. And you can expect there might be a little airflow that comes out of there when you move that tail. So just be wary of it, okay? And I just want to hold it there for about a minute, and then I'm going to remove it. And again, I'm going to stay to the side of him, because if he's uncomfortable, if he's having an issue, if his tummy's hurting or something is causing his body temperature to be high or elevated, I'm not going to want to stand in a direction where he might be kicking out and accidentally get kicked. Okay, then I can just take the reading off of there and see what it is. And today he is at about 99.1 or 0.2. So he's pretty good today. So just remember, precaution. If you have a thermometer like this, run a little string through it, maybe run a little string to attach to it, and attach a hair clip to it that you can actually clip right here into the tail hair, and then hold on to that thermometer as you take that temperature reading. Be sure to put yourself in a very safe position as you do it. And just in case your horse is moving around and walking around in the stall because it's uncomfortable, if you have that clip on there, you're going to be able to make sure you're not going to lose your thermometer in the process. So this is your tip for today.